It's math mixer. Everybody loves math. Gotta love the teacher. You happy? Miss Mallory. Teacher 2 plus 2 and crazy formulas.
Here we have a famous diving problem. We've got our good friend Dante, who is standing on a platform 10 meters tall. He's in Spain and he's ready to jump. Now, his trainer has determined that Dante's body will follow this particular quadratic formula, where the h stands for the height that Dante's body is in meters above the water, and the t represents the time in seconds that Dante is in. So the question is, will his body reach a height of 12.5 meters? Remember, he's starting at 10 meters. So will his body make it the whole way up to 12.5 meters? And if the equation says it will, how many seconds is that going to solve this? Is plug this value right in here in for h, because that's what we want to see whether or not we can reach. Okay, so 12.5 meters is equal to -5 times the time squared plus 10 times the time plus 5. Alright, now right away we see that this needs to be altered a bit, because in order to use the quadratic formula and thus find the discriminant, we're going to have to get it all equal to 0. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 12.5 from both sides of this equation. We'll subtract 12.5 there, subtract 12.5 here, and then over here we will get 0 is equal to -5t squared plus 10t plus a negative. Let's go ahead and pull off our a, our b, and our c. The a is the number in front of the squared term, so the a is -5. The b is always the number in front of the plane variable, so that's going to be 10. And the c is always the number sitting over here all by itself, the constant term, which is -7.5. Now the discriminant is just b squared minus 4ac. That's all we really need to look at. We don't have to take a look at the entire formula. Okay, well, let's see, b squared is going to be 10 squared, which is 100, minus 4 times a, which is -5, times c, which is -7.5. So we're going to end up with 100, take away, let's see here, 4 times -5 is -20, and a -20 times 7.5 is going to be a positive 150. So if we have 100 take away 150, we're going to end up with a discriminant of -50. Now again, remember, that's the part that would be underneath the radical sign. In the quadratic formula, it's the discriminant that is actually underneath the radical sign. So if we end up with a negative number underneath here, we're going to get an error on the calculator. This cannot be done in the real number system. So that means there is no answer. Okay, there's no answer in the real number system that will make this true. So if we go back to the original problem here, the question was, will his body ever reach a height of 12.5 meters? And the answer is no, it is not going to meet it.